Now, from the gate 46, we're going to be moving into the gate 18. We got a little bit of talking to do on this one. This one is really intense. So, for any of you that have the gate 18 or the gate 17 anywhere on your human design chart activated, this one's tricky to deal with. It's the gate of correction. And then the gate of opinions within the gate 17. So, this is a lot of like potential judgment, seeing what's wrong before we see what's right. It can be a quite difficult energy to hang on to because it can be difficult many times to feel as though we can just let go and enjoy life, because if something's out of order, if something's out of alignment, it wants to pull our attention towards it, and it's like we can't let go of that until we straighten the pillow or pick the clothes off the floor or put the dish in the dishwasher or something to this effect. Right? It's like once that picture frame is straightened or something, then it's like I can breathe and I can move on. But what we want to recognize is that this energy is meant for us to be working with more on an internal level and a spiritualized level, and that we really want to clean up our own home first. And that in just the same way that someone with a massive connection to gate 18 or gate 17 might get real triggered by the way another person thinks and thinks that it's off, or it's real triggered if, like, say, a house is out of order or something is messy or something isn't done correctly the way that they think it should be done. Any of that agitation to the outside world, I'm going to invite you to go inward into the internal world and look at where is some of your energy out of focus or out of alignment within you. A lot of times this just means that there's so much focus mentally to the outer world that we're not sitting down and allowing ourselves to do, say, our breathwork practice or our mantra practice. We're letting the mind kind of look at all these things that are out of order, and it's not letting us settle in to actually getting our chakras in order, our meridians in order, our axitonial lines in order, our hara line in order, and really beginning to work with the healing and repair of our, say, our womb chakra, and getting all of that purified and cleansed generally becomes an agitation to our outside world. So when we look at this, this is going to have a connection to the cosmic human, and this is a star seed alignment with diadem and coma berenices. And I apologize if I'm not pronouncing any of that correctly, but this is connected to the cosmic humans from the stellar nations perspective, okay? And this one's amazing because it actually has a lot to do with the female energy. It has a lot to do with a lot of the cycles and timelines of incarnations through the Electra Pleiadian star race lineage lines. So for those of you that have maybe a resonance to the story of the Pleiadian sisters of Electra, this is going to show up in our life as misuse of sexual energy, having partners that feel as though we feel maybe trapped in relationships or that they're out of balance. This is going to be a huge energy around that. The energies of the star sisters in from Electra in that story is about being kind of duped, um, being kind of in a state of getting duped by these male serpent lineage lines, and lured in to playing around with their sexual energy. And before they realize the ramifications of what detriment it brought, that just playing around with our sexual energy literally can dump so much karma, so much debt, so much binding, so many reincarnational cycles, and so much of that conflict and all of that friction, that we may experience. And that through this, that there sometimes comes a moment, what this star alignment says is that sometimes we just have to stop and stop playing the victim, stop putting our blame onto others, and recognize our responsibility is that we also participated. We're the ones that went along with it. We're the ones that agreed to go along with it. We are the ones that maybe didn't use our discernment. We are the ones that somehow got enmeshed in it, but that in no way, shape, or form were we ever less than a victim, helpless, or hopeless. That we played with something. And, within this, it also brings a lot of energy to lifetimes of misusing sexual energy. Sexual energy, again, is that bondage energy, that creation energy, that starfire energy. It's misuse of it through accruing power, having power over another. Sexual seductiveness is a form of power and wanting power from others, but also recognizing that this is going to have to do with misuse of magic, misuse of intentions with how we utilize our the Keylong codes in creation, misusing ascension mechanics. And so this gate says that it is the redemption of the divine feminine. Now, this doesn't mean you're a woman in this lifetime. Men and women, it doesn't matter. It just means the karmic patterns within us, any ways that we have ever misused sacred, sexual, or creation life force energy in any incarnation within this 15-dimensional time matrix, that at a certain point we come to this sense of taking full responsibility. We start to go through a phase of redemption. We take responsibility. We go through whatever sacrifices we need to do in order to balance that energy as far as taking responsibility for it, in order for that purification to come and that spiritual healing to come. So, this is powerful for us to work with. And so, let's look at this with the energy of gate 18, because this is the gate of correction. It's the fear of being judged. It's also the overindulgence in self-judgment, and it becomes a very sensitive energy, this gate 18, as it connects within the emotional solar plexus center. Or sorry, the splenic center. It has these base fears within, these primal fears that if I'm not perfect, I will die, I will not survive. It's like this, almost this primal fear that if I'm not good enough or I don't do it just right, I will die. And what we want to do is start to embrace joy. You can see that we want to get out of the energy of perfection and start to recognize that in everything we do, we want to employ excellence, to really bring in our highest level of integrity into being our spiritual adulthood and everything that we do. That's really the story of the Electra, the Pleiadian Electra star family, is that they were really immature with their energy. They just played with it and they didn't realize how powerful and how sacred it was until it was too late. And so there was a bit of a balance, and this is that redemption that we can look at. Then we will find that as we begin to heal this, we can take on that path of the Bodhisattva, that we can continuously be in service, but not with judgment, with integrity. And that with integrity, that this idea of perfection, and I know Richard Rudd uses the word perfection for the city here, but I would almost use the word excellence within here, in that sense that there always is an evolution within creation. So perfection really truly is, in some ways, an illusion. It is that unattainable carrot on the stick, but yet excellence can be experienced in every moment. And this is something that we want to step into. So the invitation as we move through this gate and in this time, coming close to the end of September here, is really just starting to go, okay, how can I begin to really look at any ways where I want to take responsibility, go through the redemption, go through your purification process. There is a story of this purification with this constellation Coma Berenices, and it has to do with and pardon me, I don't know her name off the top of my head, but this woman that had realized that she had gotten trapped, she had gotten caught, and then when she had been rescued, kind of as a redemption or kind of at her sacrifice that she gave up in order to kind of give a part of her back for what was required in order for her rescue to take place as she cut off her hair. And that was a symbol of her sacrifice for all that was needed in order to bring balance just to those, whatever that scenario was. So that is just an invitation for you to meditate, introspect on as we go through this. So with the gate 18, again, the invitation, where are you judging yourself? Where are you putting over um perfectionism on yourself, and where can you start to bring in a sense of recognizing your wholeness already exists within you, and that as you begin to connect into that, you can start to utilize that energy to bring connection and correctness again to your divine, sacred, sexual energies within you. Everything again at a core is really reinstating our sacral energy, our sexual energy, our starfire energy, reattuning and realigning it again so that it unplugs from the Maya and starts to plug back in to our higher stations of manifestations and our dreams in alignment to Source Creator. So there's an invitation for you with that.